Welcome back to Just Driven. In today's video, going to give you an update on where we stand on the Toretto Charger build. We're in the process of moving to a new facility. We're transitioning slowly. We've got a few months left here before we transition completely over to our new building. Most of the cars that you used to see are no longer here. They're at the new facility. We're excited to actually take on permanent residence there. Today, I just kind of want to bring you guys up to speed on where we're at with this build. A lot has happened in the time that you saw it in the last video. It is pretty much complete in terms of drivetrain. The interior has been completed. The entire engine bay assembly is completed. We did our first fire. We'll share with you guys right now. It is a beast. There is no exhaust on it currently, so it literally rumbles this entire building when it fires.
Not saying anything. It reads maps, so it's obviously seen something from the ECU. So now
everything which is all from different shit have to communicate.
Alright, so we have Sensei Tuner Danny that showed up last night. He was able to get a base map kind of situated and figure out the parameters of getting the fuel pump to trigger on, make sure the timing points, everything was like within spec on the new Holley HP EFI ECU. The car did fire up for the first time, and this is what you're going to hear right now. I'm getting chills thinking about it again because I just heard it. Check this out. When you rev it, it's super crispy, it's super responsive, and this thing just sounds awesome, but little issues to deal with. We already blew out a gasket on one of the sandwich plates for the blower. So James is in the office right now trying to figure out if there is a copper variant of that gasket. Only because like the blower to the sandwich plate only takes 11 foot-pounds. Yeah, there's 8 studs, but they're aluminum. It doesn't take a lot of torque, so we feel like there's not enough sealing between the base manifold, the spacer, and then the blower. So there's not enough of a squish there to really seal it off. We've got a bit of an air leak, so that's why in the video you hear the RPMs at idle really shoot up because it is sucking air from the back of the manifold. We don't really care because it sounds f***ing awesome, but the part that sucks is that we have to disassemble everything on the top again, which means we have to take the radiator out, pull all the water and water wetter out, start over, and refill everything.
blew the gasket,
No,
so it was
dude,
second air.
it already blew. I guarantee you it blew when it backfired.
When?
Before it even started. When you first started without the jumper, it backfired and there was a fireball here.
It wasn't before. So with Danny yesterday, it wasn't revving that high. It was revving high because it was already...
Yeah, but it hadn't... Oh, I see. Yeah, it was sucking air, yeah.
Because I go, well, it wasn't...
That's why I was like, God damn, that's not 1100.
No, I was like, wow, that's...
But then when you fucking revved it, holy shit.
Because you go...
Yeah. Dude, that sounded insane.
It's so crispy, like... Yeah.
Crispy. I want Krispy Kreme donuts.
The work that we've been putting into this build in the last week, 2 weeks, has been reconstruction of the hood. In staying true to what this car looked like in the movie, that has been our priority from the very beginning, and swapped out the tires a few times because they were a little bit too big. The stance is almost there. You guys have mentioned in previous comments, in previous videos, that it sat too high in the front. That was just a temporary situation. We've actually backed the torsion bars off a little bit, lowered the front end, and as it sits right now in the front is pretty much what it looked like for the movie car. The back end is still a bit high, and we're going to address that with some new springs, and that will pretty much suit our needs. Back in previous videos, we talked a little bit about a fiberglass hood option. We talked about possibly arranging to where this hood actually clipped into place and wasn't actually functional. We did elect to go with the original OEM hood because we decided we wanted the hood to be actually functional. The movie car obviously had a fake supercharger on it. The hood butted up against the supercharger. There was no room to actually open that hood. There's a lot to show off under this hood. So we decided to go in the direction of having a larger opening so that the hood serves as a fully functional hood. And as you can see, it does that. It clears this massive buzzard catcher. You'll also notice we've installed some billet hood hinges, which really cleans up the hinge area. What you don't see is the amount of work that Adrian had to put into the reconstruction of this hood. This hood has been completely re-engineered. It's much stronger than it was in its original form, and that's because of the work and welding that went into this. What's interesting about this hood, if you'll notice, there's a spine. This is a factory spine that runs all the way to the back to the cowl, and this is a blinker turn signal hood. We just don't have the lenses in right now, but this bankment right here actually came to this spine. So he cut this hood in several different angles and moved this over so that the opening was going to have the same level all the way around. It's just that little detail stuff that looks amazing. I just love what he did. I think he absolutely killed it on this build. What's next is we're going to prepare this hood for paint It's going to take a little bit of work. I can imagine it'll be on the body shop side for at least 3 or 4 days, and then this thing's going to be pretty much ready. So here's where we're at. Although it's been completely painted, we've actually been leaning on this thing. We've been pushing it. We've been doing all sorts of things, and I've been seeing some new little issues coming up that we want to address. And since we're going to already put the car back on the body shop side, we've decided to go ahead and fix some of the dents and scratches, and then we're going to do a final scuff. We're going to clear it and get it ready for paint. Actually, before we do any of the paint work, it's going over to B-Side Fabrication, where he's already been working on preparing all the flanges and all the exhausts for the car, and a custom exhaust system is going to be made for it. That'll, of course, quiet it down a little bit. This thing is an absolute beast. As you can see, this interior absolutely came out beautiful. None of the cars that were used in the filming of the first movie had a center console. Remember I mentioned we wanted to take some personal liberties on how we were going to make our interior look? Richard over at B-Side Fabrication did all the metal work on this car. He did all the stamping, he did all the bead rolling for the door panels, the rear door cards, the rear back seat delete, the center console, and we started talking about, okay, what are our gauges going to look like? So we elected to go with the original odometer gauges that were used in the movie car, and we decided to split it up because this is essentially the factory glove box, and this is a factory black piece. We decided to carry that on over to this side, and we decided to add this middle section to copy the center console, so aesthetically it's just more eye appealing to see this brake line, and the gauges kind of cover the brake line up, and they look amazing. I just absolutely love the way this car looks. And remember, when I was talking under the hood, we shared with you guys that we didn't put a power steering rack in this. We elected to go with a power steering column. And look how easy it is. So an electric steering column just makes way more sense, because that way we can divert all of our power to that huge 572 Hemi motor and put it all to the rear wheels. That's also the case for the air conditioning, because right under here is the actual AC. The AC is a vintage AC system. What we haven't done yet is run our vents, and that will give this interior compartment a nice cool breeze as opposed to being in a very hot metal box. Kirky makes an amazing seat. These are the actual Kirky covers that are going to stay on the seats. We're still getting some 4-point harnesses made. The fact that these bolsters are so high makes it really tricky to get in and out of these seats. Getting in and out of this car is not easy. Okay. And by the way, when this hood's painted, the view out of the freaking windshield is just mind-boggling. Aren't you kind of excited to know what this thing's going to do power-wise? I know we are. What do you guys think it's going to be? Mention in the comments. Tell us your estimate on what you think this car is going to make. What's next is this car is going to get shipped over to B-Side Fabrication, where Richard's going to do all of his magic exhaust work, and then he's going to hand it off to Danny over at Unrivaled Tuning, where he's going to do all of his magic. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe on this video and all of our videos. We really appreciate all the support from you guys. We really appreciate you guys passing this video on to others. It means a lot to us. So till the next one.
Yeah, how much would one of these wheels weigh?
They're light. It's surprisingly light for these.
Really?
They're like giant balloons.
They look like they're like 100 pounds each.
I know, they're not. I was shocked. When I put them in the truck, I was like, oh.
Daryl, are you going to want me to put the car back together so you can show it? Or do you want me to brush all the panels and give them to you clean so you can satisfy them?
Okay, so on the panels, the brushed aluminum panels, let's not do any oil on those.
No, that was just the steel.
Just the steel.
Yeah. No, it's
okay.
the aluminum. It's like anytime you like the door cards right now, like because all the fingers, like your oil gets on. That's what I'm saying. Do you want me to brush it again?
On one of your spare pieces, can you brush one for me?
Yeah.
And let me look at it, and then I'm going to take it and have that piece cleared to see exactly what it looks like. Because I'm trying to decide if I want to go satin or egg shell clear.
Okay.
I haven't decided yet, but it would be awesome if you don't mind.
Yeah.
If you could do a little piece about yay big.
Yeah.
And then I'll have Joe do a quick blowout of 3 different variations of it. Like he'll put lines, okay,
so just make it like
20
inches long.
Yeah, because you could do a flat clear, you could do a satin clear, and you could do an eggshell clear, and that way I'll really get an idea what the best look's going to be for the interior.
Yeah, like dumped right there. There's no tip.
Okay.
Because it's a square oval.
Let's run ours past the diff a little bit so we get a little bit. I don't want this thing to be so obnoxiously loud.
Under or over? I think we're going to have to go under. because the brake lines.
Well,
It's
you
a
know,
big pipe.
this car's going to sit up higher,
Yeah, so
but
it should be okay.
I mean, can you see in that picture if they're over or under?
I would predict that they're exiting before the diff. That's what they all did.
Okay, then do it before the diff. That way we don't have to see it. It's tuck up a little higher.
What do you mean?
Go up higher and
Have it come out like this.
It's gonna be loud as dumping under the floor.
What if you do the 2 Magnaflows and then do 2 race mufflers after that?
I really don't want to see them because the car's going to lose a little bit in height because of the smaller tire ratio.
Because you want to do 3 10x, right?
3.5.
3.5 10x.
Yeah. And then mufflers
to
after the
2
X.
mufflers. Why don't you do the 2 mufflers and then just to try to fight it a little more, resonant
Short
8er
bullets.
style mufflers, the short
'Cause
stubby ones.
My goal is to be able to hear more of the supercharger than the exhaust.
I'm pretty sure you'll hear it.
You know, I mean, because I'm pretty sure we're going to hear it. For sure. But if the exhaust is so loud, you're going to lose some of that noise.
Because you can see the mufflers.
So maybe do the X to resonators
and
or
then the mufflers.
or the mufflers and then do the stubby ones, and
Resonator
there's like
with
an
the tip
8-inch,
exit.
6.5 inch, and just right before the dump, like put the stubbies there to add it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Just that way it's kind of tucked
We
here.
try that, and then worst case, if it's too loud, then
We just keep going
I
back.
feel-
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how we do it, right?
Yeah.
we just go further back.
Makes sense.
I'm just gonna do everything. Magnaflow
Yeah.
has the least rasp,
Yeah.
like the same ones that I ordered for the Roadrunner, but in 3.5.
3.5. If they have a
Inlet, offset inlets.
actually no. So go here. The X is you're gonna order an X.
Yeah, with the wideband gun.
Just show me what X you're thinking to order before.
I'm gonna try to order a wider one this time.
Yeah, that way if we come this way, at least
Yeah.
it comes out that way. That way you can do like inside muffler to outside.
Okay.
That way there's actually like more travel
Inside the
yeah.
canister.
And then before going
So
out,
offset inlet outlet.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll look up X's today. That's for the e-brake.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, 'cause I think that would help with the noise too. Like
And then a shorty bullet.
yeah.
Like
Right
the
at the
case
end
of
of
the bullet, make it wideband. Make it like a 5-inch case, and then the rest is like the extension.
Yeah.
Because it usually leaves 1.5 inches of extension on each side.
Yeah.
So that'll be 8 total, and you could chop it down if you want to put the tip direct.
Yeah. We'll just figure out how to fit it here,
Yeah.
and then come back down for like a dump just to peek stuff.
How far down will that pipe sit?
Your call. We're gonna go tuck up.
I'd say tucked. You know, as high as
Just
we
like-
can, yeah.
Yeah. So you'll barely see the blackness of it
So
from
do
the
you
back.
want like the bend?
Yeah,
or
if you could
something?
make the cut on the tip, not, you know, rounded like shade.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you would.
Oh, you want it flat? So
Yeah.
like a truck, like fully
So
down.
I
yeah.
figured if it was in that.
Yeah, so
Well,
in
that
other
would be
words,
more like
you could
two
just
dots.
cut the pipe in an angle.
Yeah.
It'll never run pump gas. About the content sensor in the back. Remember how it's on the fuel
the way
cell?
it flows.
Yeah. Because if it's only gonna run E, then we just need to make sure it has enough content that the E isn't bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if this will run off pump gas.
You know, to show it off and you know and share it with people, it can't be so nasty that the thing is
At least
hard.
be able to have a conversation while it's idling.
Yeah, or you know, pulling
Or
into
try
a car
to.
show or to an event and not have, oh God, it's stalling. Oh, it's you know, it's just. I mean, I don't know. This is the first blown car I've owned, or we've done. We've never done a blown car like this.
Not
So-
this type.
Yeah,
We've only done the Coyote with the Edelbrock supercharger,
yeah, and I
which
don't,
is easy.
I don't consider that a blower by any stretch. That's not a blower. This is going to
This next level blower.
be. This is
This
a little
steps it up.
I mean, this is a little intimidating. This car. It'll be kind of fun to see how this all comes together. But yeah, all right.